Hello there to all my plant lovers and nature lovers out there. Today I want to do a little video on plant identification. My name's Sasha Collin and I'm a herbalist and naturopath, and today I am doing plantain. Here's plantain. There's two types of plantain. Plantain which is called Plantago lanceolata and Plantago major. So major has the more rounded leaves, and plantain the other one basically has lance-shaped leaves like this. Now, there are many different species of plantain, and depending where you are in the world, you'll find one or two maybe more common than the others. But I'm just going to focus on these two. I'm in France, and the temperature here is pretty much similar, and the plants are very similar indeed to the UK. So if you're over there or here or around this area, they'll probably be the similar ones. But I know these are found all over the world pretty much. So, plantain, what does this do? It is anti-inflammatory, it's antibacterial, and it is a wound healer. So this is one of nature's best kind of first aid remedies. If you want to teach your kids about this plant, you can. It's brilliant. You can chew it up, you can put it onto any kind of bites, cuts, wounds, stings, anything like that, or grazes, anything that kind of happens when you're outside and you're in the garden and you've got a little bit of a problem. It's really good at cooling down. Its nature is very cooling, so it can cool anything that's really red and inflamed and hot. So that's why it's absolutely brilliant for that. And the antibacterial nature will remove the bacteria and kill it off and help reduce the inflammation and pain within stings, cuts, bites and grazes. So that's brilliant for that. And you can use any of the plantains for that. Internally, it's used as a tea for coughs, for digestive problems, and for urinary tract infections, because it's very, very soothing. The tannins are astringent, so it soothes mucous membranes, and the mucilaginous effect of plantain also soothes the mucous membranes. So the tannins dry up things, and the mucilaginous quality soothes. So if you can imagine all the mucous membrane within the whole, from the whole of the digestive tract from the top, and the respiratory tract right down, all the way down to the urinary and the digestive tract at the bottom part of your body. So the whole thing can be soothed with plantain internally as a tea or as a tincture as well. It can be taken as a tincture. The seeds are also edible, the leaves are edible, the spring leaves are edible. So you can use that in cooking, and you can use that in teas. That's all I think for this. It's also a very, very good blood cleanser, and for that way it can be used very well for treating hay fever as well. That's one of the useful things of plantain. And blood cleanser means it can clean out any kind of problems that you might have if you've had blood poisoning, but you must always seek medical advice. But if in the meantime you can take that as a tea or as a poultice on any wound, it's really useful for that. Okay, so the anti-inflammatory properties are glycosides, flavonoids, terpenoids, and the astringent quality is the tannins that are within it. The seeds are edible, and they are particularly mucilaginous as well, so that's a really good thing to use. Now I'm going to take you into the garden, and I'm going to try and show you where I can find these two plants, and give you a bit more identification on how to actually find them. Alright then, I hope this has been useful. I'll take you outside now. Let's go! Hi there, right, I found some plantain here. As you can see, it's growing straight out of the ground here. The leaves grow in a basal rosette, which means they all come from one point out of the ground, and they kind of grow in a circular shape, which just makes like a rose shape, and that's why it's called a rosette. And these ones, this is Plantain lanceolata. I can't say that word very well, but it means the leaves are long and thin. Now you can always tell that it is plantain. I'll just pick a leaf here, because of the parallel ribbed veins that go through the leaf. Now you can see them really clearly on the back, and you can see them on the front too, but that's one of the signs they'll be parallel, and they come all the way up from the stem, all the way up to the leaf end there. Plantago major is the other one, which is slightly fatter leaves. They're more rounded shaped leaves, but they have the same sort of structure, the same basal rosette of leaves, and they are just fatter shaped leaves, more rounded. Here you go, here you can see there's the flower head. It's one spike that comes out of the ground at the same point the leaves come out of, and it will just go all the way up, a little spike with a flower head at the top. I'll just take this one out if I can. Thank you, little plant. There. You can see like that, it's got a tiny little head. Now this will sprout, loads of little flowers will come out at the top of this, and then they will turn into seed. So the seeds are edible, the young leaves are edible. These ones are slightly dusty because they're covered in pollen from the pine trees at the moment. But you can see, yeah, there's a taproot. It's from a taproot in the ground. So there's one long root that goes down with little spindly ones coming off it. And yes, so this is plantain. It's brilliant. You can, as I said before, you can chew the leaves up. You can put them onto cuts and grazes and things like that, and stings and bites. And you can use them in teas. You can eat the young leaves. The old leaves are slightly tougher, not so great. But in spring, at the moment, you've got some young ones, which are really nice. So there you are. It grows in the grass. It grows in all trodden areas. This is just on my lawn. So yeah, hopefully this will help you to find it. I'll try and find the major, which is the Plantago major, which is slightly more round. And there aren't many other plants that actually resemble plantain in its growth. You might find some of the leaves that grow out of the lawn, but as long as you stick to the identification technique, you can see that they are not really that similar actually. And if you're not sure, always ask someone and always double check before harvesting anything you find. Okay, hope this has been useful. I'll see if I can find Plantago major. Right, I'm outside and I've just found Plantago major, which is this one here. See, it's slightly, can you see here? Slightly round leaves. It's not thin and long like the last one we found. They're just more round, basically. Look, same parallel ribbed veins on the back, more prominent. See? On the front like that, and you've got them as a basal rosette. They're coming straight out of the ground. You've got leaves coming up from the base. That's another one there. These are slightly dusty. Again, it's the pollen from the pine trees. And there's another one here. You see? There's plantain. You can see. Now there are lots and lots and lots of species of plantain, and I'm in France. And I've noticed the plantains here are very similar to that of the UK. So I'm imagining this sort of temperature. Well, these are the two I find all the time. I don't really find many others, but there are lots of different species, and depending on where you are in the world, you might find there's another one that's more prominent. So you can always check that out. But yeah, I hope this has been useful. This is Plantago major, and I just showed you Plantago lanceolata. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And that's it really. So yeah, there you go. Lovely plantain, and I will see you soon for another video. Please subscribe to my channel if you enjoy it, and I will try and do more identification for plants that you can eat, edible plants and herbal medicines. Okay, bye bye.